Most people are familiar with the infamous stretch of ocean known as the Bermuda Triangle, but a far more accessible and equally terrifying mystery exists right within the American West. Spanning across a massive expanse of the rugged Sierra Nevada mountain range and the bleak desert plains, an area known as the Nevada Triangle has quietly claimed thousands of aircraft and lives over the last several decades. The borders of this geographic trap connect Reno, Las Vegas, and Fresno, creating a vast zone of empty space where planes seem to simply blink out of existence. The scale of the phenomenon is staggering. Aviation experts estimate that between 1,000 and 2,000 planes have crashed or vanished within these boundaries since the mid-20th century. To put that in perspective, that is far more than the recorded disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle. What makes the Nevada Triangle truly unsettling is how completely the landscape swallows these modern machines, often leaving zero trace for months, years, or generations. For a long time, the public viewed these disappearances as tragic but isolated incidents. The sheer scale of the danger did not fully capture the global imagination until September 2007, when a legendary adventurer named Steve Fossett took off from a private ranch in western Nevada. Fossett was not an amateur pilot. He was a world-famous aviator who had flown solo around the globe in a hot air balloon, sailed around the world, and set dozens of endurance records. On that clear morning, he climbed into a rugged single-engine light aircraft for what was supposed to be a brief pleasure flight. He took no parachute, a bit of water, and enough fuel for a few hours. He never returned. When Fossett vanished, it triggered one of the largest and most intense search and rescue operations in American history. Teams utilized highly advanced satellite imaging, military aircraft, sonar, and hundreds of ground volunteers. Day after day, they swept across the desert floor and scaled jagged peaks. They found nothing. In fact, the search was so thorough that crews accidentally discovered the wreckage of several other completely unrelated planes that had crashed decades prior and had been forgotten by time. Yet, Fossett's modern plane seemed to have vaporized into thin air. It took more than a year to solve part of the mystery. A hiker walking through a remote, high-altitude section of the Sierra Nevada mountains stumbled upon some personal items, including Fossett's pilot identification cards. Search teams scrambled back to the area and finally located the impact site. The plane had slammed into a mountain face at high speed, completely destroying the aircraft and leaving only tiny fragments behind. While the discovery brought closure, it also deepened the sense of dread surrounding the region. How could such an experienced pilot, flying in perfect weather conditions, make such a fatal error? The answer lies in a mixture of extreme geography and violent, invisible physics. The Sierra Nevada mountains rise sharply from the landscape, creating a sudden and massive wall of rock. When the powerful winds traveling from the Pacific Ocean slam into these mountains, they are forced upward at incredible speeds. Once the air clears the peaks, it rolls down the other side in violent, turbulent spirals. Meteorologists call this phenomenon a mountain wave. It creates massive, invisible downdrafts that can catch a light aircraft completely off guard. To a pilot flying over the peaks, the air might look perfectly calm, but underneath the surface, a sudden microburst of wind can act like a giant, invisible hand pushing the plane down toward the rocks. In many cases, the downdrafts are stronger than the maximum climbing power of the aircraft engine. The pilot can pull back on the controls with all their strength, but the plane will continue to sink into the canyon walls. Compounding this atmospheric trap is the sheer hostility of the terrain. The Nevada Triangle is a land of deceptive distances and extreme isolation. The jagged granite peaks and deep canyons create a maze of shadows and uniform gray stone that makes spotting wreckage from the air nearly impossible. Even when a plane goes down, the wreckage is frequently buried under winter snow or hidden deep inside crevices where human eyes rarely look. The proximity of the Triangle to Area 51 and other highly classified military testing grounds has naturally fueled a wealth of conspiracy theories. People talk about secret government radar jamming, experimental weapons testing, and extraterrestrial activity. While those ideas make for chilling campfire stories, the true reality of the Bermuda Triangle is arguably scarier. The combination of unpredictable alpine weather, deceptive mountain winds, and a vast, unforgiving wilderness creates a natural trap that does not care about your experience level, your technology, or your will to survive. Tune in next week for more scary tales.